Welcome back to the channel. I'm Jeff Lachos. This is my YouTube channel. We have not made a video in about 3 years. I think the last video was February of 2023. And as those of you know that follow the channel, that have watched the other videos, and we don't have a huge channel, but those of you that have watched the channel and enjoy the content that we've put on there, the channel was primarily videos made with myself and Earl Luce. And a lot of those videos that you saw leading up to, say, January 2023 were the journey that Earl was taking, putting an 0290 on his Buttercup. And as all of you know, we suffered a tremendous tragedy in the end of May of 2023, where we lost Earl, and I'm not really here to do a video to talk about that, although what I will say is that it's been an extremely difficult 3 years here at Gaines Valley Aviation, moving forward and continuing to work on the projects that we had started, and taking care of all the aftermath that comes when you lose somebody close, and trying to help out Earl's wife. And we sold Earl's tailwind to a gentleman in Washington State, and we hope that he's going to enjoy that airplane for a long time. It was a wonderful airplane to fly, and just continue to work on projects. So that's why I'm back. A couple of people asked me if I was going to make any more videos, and I was on the fence about it, but I think it's finally time to make a video. And I'd like to make more content, and I'd like to kind of document the really hard work that I've been putting in on the project that Earl and I started. So what's off camera here to my right, to your left, would be a J5 fuselage that Earl and I had started working on, a modified J5 fuselage, and following with the FAA being, I guess, a little more strict on what they had been in the past, with taking a certificated aircraft and modifying it and making it experimental. We had gone down a path where Earl had this project for many years, and we had just started kind of putting pieces together and trying to get that going to make an experimental J5 Cub, and hit the roadblocks, obviously, with FAA rules and things like that. So what you see behind me is a J5 fuselage that I'm building from scratch. And that's really what the content of this video will be. So again, we miss Earl a ton. This was a project Earl and I and Ray Johnson were working on together. And the three of us were having a lot of fun. And then about a year of time went by after Earl passed, in which really nothing was happening. And I exhausted all my options to continuing on the existing path with the existing project, and just decided I'm going to build a fuselage. And unfortunately, Earl's not here to help me. And it would have been a lot of fun, but building it the old-fashioned way, so cutting every tube and fitting it and fixturing it, and I'm in the process of tack welding it together now. So that's really what I'm here to talk about. And I hope that a long absence away from the channel has not deterred anybody from coming back. So if you're somebody who's subscribed, welcome back. If you're not subscribed and it's your first time, I welcome you to go watch the other videos. I would love to do more videos of some car related content, like I did a video in February of 2023 at my brother's garage upstate, and some of his projects, and he's got some more projects that he's finished since then and is working on more. So there may be some more content coming from that, so we're excited about that. I'd love to put together a collection of some ski flying videos. I don't have a lot of content from outside the airplane, just inside the airplane, so that's they might not be that exciting, but we did some off airport landings this winter with the skis in the Buttercup, and had a lot of fun the few times that we were able to go out. We had great winter snow, really low ceilings, a ton of wind, and almost no good flying days when we had 1.5 feet of snow on the ground. So it was unfortunate, but we still got to fly 3-4 times, something like that, on the skis. But the content that I want to show today, and hopefully this comes through on the video, is I've taught myself how to TIG weld. I'm not great. I'm going to get a lot better. I can stick metal together, and I can weld okay. And I'm going to get a lot better as I go here finishing this fuselage. But right now I'm in the process of tack welding everything together, and then I can unhook the fuselage from the table and start to rotate it and get around all those tubes and finish weld all that, and then get it back on the table to put the fittings on it and things like that. So that's where I'm at right now, and hope that you enjoy the content. So I'm going to walk around and describe some of the stuff that I'm doing. Okay, so I apologize first because the table's just an absolute disaster. There's tools everywhere. There's pieces and parts everywhere. But I think most of you that are in the throes of building an aircraft, this is probably what your bench looks like anyways. So I'll walk around the fuselage quick. I'll talk about it. Basically what I did is I had a J5 PA12 drawing in my hand. I made it fairly large size. I was able then to decipher possibly the best way to build it. Unlike building a Whitman style aircraft or something that is fairly square, where you build the sides on the table flat and then you stand the sides up and put the cross members in. You can't really do that with a J5 because, as you can see as I walk towards this way, the fuselage gets narrower at the bottom than it is at the top, and it gets narrower at the top than it is in the middle, and it curves at the same time. So I did not have any dimensions or any way to get accurate dimensions of the side, and I would have had to have twisted the fuselage from the flat state into this state. So my suspicion is that Piper built it in a 3D fixture and tack welded it and then took it out of the fixture to finish weld it, and that's what I did. So I made the bottom truss. So that's this truss right here. I made the top truss, this piece right here that runs, I guess, down the middle of the aircraft, and then the cage sits on top of that where the wings go. I made those flat on the table. And then I put the bottom truss on the table and I heated it and bent it to fit this fixturing all the way to the tail. And I just got a fake tail post in here. Just a piece of 7/8 tubing in here that I will replace with an actual fabricated tail post here when I get that built. And so I have cut and fit every tube here and tack welded the 2 trusses fairly well. And then as I've come down through, I've fit every tube, made them all fit perfect, had the entire fuselage assembled with masking tape holding it all together. You can see some tape still sticking around here. And then I started taking it back apart and cleaning the joints so that I could tack weld it together, diagonals included. So all the tubing for the main part of the fuselage is cut and fit, every bit of it, including the tube that goes behind the rear seat. And there's probably only 3 or 4 tubes left to fit, and they're not structural. So that's where I'm at. It's hard for me to get far enough away here to get a full shot in the picture, but this is the J5 fuselage that we had been working with. This is a real J5 that was modified to have a J3 style door. It's been modified in various places, and we were unable to use this for our project to make an experimental aircraft without being an experimental exhibition or some other category that made it a little messy. Really want an experimental aircraft, a true experimental aircraft that at the end we could fly around and have a lot of fun. And this fuselage wasn't in the greatest condition anyways. As you can see as I zoom in here, there's been some repairs in places, and it wasn't real straight, and it was really just kind of a mess. But we did a lot of hard work. So we had an instrument panel roughed in and made, a rear seat, baggage compartment, everything had fit. We had made frames for the windows for the sides, you can see those, and all of that will transfer directly over to the project, to the new fuselage. So as you can see, I've had all the tubes in here and fit. Some of them have fallen out on the floor, on the bench, but everything's been fit and trimmed and fits pretty well. And what I'm up against now is really, as you can see here, I'll zoom into this cluster here, as you can see here. Everything fits really nice. It won't be hard to get these tacked together. And what I've done is I've drilled relief holes underneath where the tubes come together. I've done that to allow communication for the gas to exit as I close up these welds completely. Now, as you can see here, I had a tack weld that I had started, or a weld that was maybe ½ an inch long. I'd started, and then when I realized I had to bend this. It wasn't going to bend with this tube connected, so I disconnected this tube. I will re-weld this before I weld the cluster together. So I will come back in and I'll put a weld here, all the way up to here. I'll put a weld up to here, and then the bottom side, obviously when I unbolt it, it'll get welded again. So that'll get a pretty robust weld there before I even put these verticals in. As you can see here, I've got a couple of the verticals tacked in and tacked in place, and then I wire wheeled them afterwards. And as you can see, I have my alignment for my upper structure, and all of that has been fit, and dimensions and angles have been matched up to the drawing that I have. So that'll probably wrap it up. Not a very long video, but as I said at the beginning, it's been a tough 3 years so far without making a video. It's been almost 3 years without Earl. It will be 3 years at the end of May, and we really miss him here. It's hard to do this without him because he built so many airplanes. We had so much fun together. We had so much more to do, and I just hope that when I'm all done with this, it'll be something that of course in his vision would be acceptable. And I know we're gonna have a lot of fun when we fly it. It's gonna be all windows, big back seat. O235 on it, so it'll have 108 horsepower, and probably 850s, so have some fat tires, and it'll be all windows with the windows and doors open, and it'll just be fun. And just keep chipping away. There's no timetable, just work on it whenever I can, and that's it. So until next time, and I hope next time isn't a long time from now. Love to get back on and show some of the progress, and maybe the next video this will be unstrapped from the table and I'll be doing some full welds on it, or not, we'll see. And maybe I can somewhere in between compile some ski flying videos and put them all together for you folks to see. We had a lot of fun, like I said, even though there wasn't a lot of snow that we could use on flying days. So until next time, thanks for watching the channel. Like, share, subscribe, and we hope that we can continue to bring you content that's worthwhile. Thanks. Until next time.